Hi Libra. This is your mid-September 2018 tarot fix. Thank you so much for checking the reading out. Let's jump right into these mid-month messages. There is a full month of September 2018 reading up for you as well, Libra. I wasn't certain that I was going to put mid-month messages up, so I'm sure that the September Libra reading will still be applicable to the full month of September for some of you. This reading is really going to zero in on how summer is ending for you, how Virgo season then of course is ending for you, how Libra season is going to begin. Happy birthday to those of you who have birthdays right around the corner. And the reading may even take us a little into October for some of you. Give me just a minute. It's early for me right now. I mean, the cards are still a little stiff. Ten of Pentacles energy showing is good, Libra, of course. That's security, financial wealth. Maybe some of you getting a raise, mastering a skill. Mastering a skill looks likely, actually, with the Three of Wands showing up then. You're feeling confident about whatever project you are invested in at this time. That work is established. Maybe something creative, spiritual, again, something that you are very invested in. But the first step or the first decision in that process, in that project, I think has been taken. And it may be in line with mastering a skill. Whatever that first decision is, it's made you feel established and again, confident moving forward. That's great. That's a beautiful energy. And yet in the Deviant Moon Tarot that I'm using here, you can see that she is focused. And sometimes she reads as concerned in this picture for me, almost anxious about what will come of these plants that she is literally invested in. And I'm sure many of you are literally invested in whatever project we're talking about for you, whatever work, financially. And you know, as she is watching and waiting for these plants to grow, remaining grounded in the realistic possibilities for them and realistically what they need to be nurtured and to be encouraged to continue to grow, there's a slight danger. Danger is not the right word. There is a possibility of one in that situation remaining so grounded in the here and now and what these plants need in order to continue thriving, that they don't allow themselves to fully picture or imagine or fantasize about these plants' ultimate potential and possibility. I think, Libras, you know what you want right now, and you are very focused on it, and you do feel confident, and it's established, and it is growing. Just don't be afraid to imagine what you really want. Okay, I think you are focused on what you really want. Don't be afraid to imagine how far it could go, how big it could get. Even if it seems impossible, even if it seems completely impossible to you, don't be afraid to let yourself fantasize about that which you really want to move toward. How I think it's specifically about this project that you're feeling confident about, that's growing. Continue to let your heart build pictures of where that might ultimately lead you to. But again, I think the fact that you're feeling grounded is, and as an air sign too, Libra, the fact that you're feeling grounded and focused and aware of what it is you want, what area you want to focus on, is great. It's wonderful. All I'm adding to that is, don't limit that project's potential. Take into consideration that it can go further than you can imagine, right? But there's also the message here that, this is not just a fantasy. It's not just a high hope. It's, this project you're invested in is real. It's really growing. Maybe at one time it was just a fantasy of yours, but you have brought it into your physical world. It exists with you now, which is a lovely message as well. And Libras, it's like you don't want to say much more about it for whatever reason. I have no idea why yet. All right, it's an overwhelming success. It's overwhelming. For some of you, to the extent that it is burdensome to some degree. I think, okay, what would be burdensome to you is the task of letting this project that you're invested in grow to its fullest potential. And that's why you're afraid to imagine and fantasize about the heights, the extreme, the furthest extent that this might possibly reach that which you are working on at this time. That's why, because it would be an overwhelming success. It's already overwhelming. And I absolutely relate, Libras. I feel this vibe. I can see why. And it may be that it's all rooted in the fact that you've walked away from a group of people who could have helped you with this project. Looks like you've left a group. Or maybe you left a friend group, and that would have provided you support on the side while you were working on this project. Or maybe it's one and the same. Yeah, it looks like in the distant past, in the root of the situation, you left a group. There was a great disappointment of some kind. There may have been some drinking, some alcoholic drinking involved that did not help the situation, that encouraged that disappointment, that encouraged you to leave this group. And it may have been a work situation instead of a friendship situation. It may have been a work situation where you were friends with your coworkers. But leaving whatever group you left leaves you working on this project alone, invested alone. And maybe it is investing in a new financial opportunity or your own business because you've left where you work. Whatever the specific details are for each of you Libras, the situation is meant to be. It's fated. At this time, it seems that it was part of your path to leave this group and find yourself invested in what you are now on your own. And so if you're on your own because you've left this group and you're already overwhelmed with how much of your energy this project requires, of course, you are resisting a little bit, imagining your work, your project getting even larger, becoming even bigger, even grander, when you don't have anyone to help you with the overwhelming, burdensome tasks that are represented here with the Ten of Wands. This is what's on your mind when your ego is quiet. This is what you know. The Ten of Wands says, it speaks to someone carrying a heavy weight, but I notice that they're never dropping the sticks, right? This creature is capable of completing his or her task. They're also at risk for overloading themselves, stretching themselves too thin, dropping that bundle of sticks there. Yes, but they're managing. You are managing. You are capable. You are doing it. It just is taking all of your energy, all of your time. But if you resist imagining what this could possibly turn into, your work, your project, what you're invested in, if you won't allow yourself to completely see and envision where it might lead you and take you in your future, then what you are doing is you're letting a dream die. Especially if it's something that, is a dream of yours, right? I mean, maybe it's something that has just developed recently as this work and project began to develop, but for some of you, it's something that you've always wanted. It's something that's part of who you are. And now that it's in front of you, yes, it's overwhelming, but the other option is to let your dream die. That's what I'm seeing here, and I don't mean to be hard on you at all, Libras. It's just the message here with the Seven of Cups reversed, immediately followed with the Nine of Cups reversed. It's someone neglecting themselves a little bit. You need to exercise self-love, but that means nurturing also these dreams that you have. I think a lot of what's plaguing Libras, what's causing unnecessary anxiety as you watch your work develop, is the fact that there's a lack of forgiveness in your recent past. So it's possible that when you left that group of people, when you excused yourself from either this work or friend environment, if there was drinking involved, and or if it was a disappointing exit, someone did not show poise, and there's a lack of forgiveness. There may also be, on your part, Libras, a lack of adapting to your new way of life after this job, after leaving this friend group, after this disappointment. The number 33 may be significant for you at this time, Libras. To me, it really says, 33 showing up here, that you are on the right path. You are being guided. The only problem I see is just resisting letting your dream grow even bigger for fear that you won't be able to handle how big it gets, especially without the support of the group that you just left. And with 33 showing up alongside the Wheel of Fortune, I think you're where you are meant to be. I think you're on the path that you're supposed to be on. I believe you're doing the work you're supposed to do, and I do believe that you're supposed to let it grow bigger. This is moving away from things you were previously interested in. This is being a little afraid to imagine what you really want and believing it's impossible. And this is lacking some self-love and letting a dream die. it just echoes each other, one right after the other. And that's in your near future, actually. So it's like this energy is going to stay with you throughout September if you don't make a conscious decision to veer off of it. And the answer of how to do that is in the Temperance card and this Queen of Pentacles that shows up right underneath your Wheel of Fortune. That answer is balancing your emotions with your practicality. That's what's required of you now, Libras. The disappointment of leaving this group is emotional. There's an emotional aspect to adapting to life without that group. The anxiety you feel is related to your emotions. The fear that you feel about the overwhelming nature of letting your dream develop into what you really want. The overwhelming tasks that would be related to overseeing your dream as it blossoms into what you truly want. That fear isn't real, and it's creating a lot of negative emotions for you. But practically, you are probably unable to deny that you are seeing synchronistic signs around you that are telling you this is what you're meant to be doing. This is where you're supposed to be. This is the path you're supposed to be on. You know it in your gut. You know it in your intuition. You know it in the amount of synchronicities around you all the time. And practically, this dream that you are putting off, pushing off, putting on hold, is something that you've, again, probably worked for or wanted for a very long time. And it doesn't really make any sense, does it, to turn your back on it because it's a lot of work once it's finally there. And that's not me implying that you don't want to do the work. Again, this is fear of not being able to handle all of the complications and successes that accompany a dream developing, because you probably thought you'd have this support system around you. And you're in a space where I'm sure you need to heal after this disappointment and someone showing a lack of poise and this lack of forgiveness here. So Libras, I will leave you at that, hoping that offered you some insight for the end of September. Hoping that offers you a window to change your attitude, just to adjust it just a little bit here, so as to ensure that you don't let any dream of yours die. Allow yourself to fantasize about the furthest reaches of you and this project, this work you're invested in. Even if you think it's impossible, even if it seems completely impossible to you, just do it, just for me, for you. It's for you, really. Again, I hope this offered you something, Libras, and I do really appreciate your likes on this video and subscribes to this channel. If you are interested in a personal reading and aren't familiar with my services, check out the description of this video down below. And otherwise, there's also a Virgo season reading for the collective that I will post a link to in the description for you as well. I love you very much, Libras, and I will post another tarot fix for you just as soon as I can.